Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be going over the best cards that come out of the new Emperor of Darkness structure deck, which is set to release in just 2 more days on Thursday the 28th in the TCG. But anyways, let's go ahead and go over what are the best cards out of the set. Let's go over the reprints and as well as let's find out if the deck is actually good, as well as take a look at it and see if you can actually profit off of buying these structure decks and selling the cards individually, because sometimes that is a thing you can do. So as far as noteworthy reprints, we have Dandelion, we have Soul Charge, we have Rainbow Karibo, and Mathematician. Yeah, there's other cards like Level Eater and Battle Fader, which can technically be used in other decks, but for the most part, there's like 25 cents in the first place anyways. So unfortunately, Mathematician is at 1 in the TCG, and Soul Charge is just not too hot right now. The Pendulums basically summon everything anyways, and you don't have any like downsides if you can't enter your battle phase, and then you have to pay life points. But for the most part, these are all the great reprints out of it. So do I think that this is worth it if you just want to sell the cards individually? Not necessarily here, because there's not a really crazy card. Like, there's not a card that was like a $50 card that is now in a structure deck. So as far as good cards, there are a ton of good cards if you want to build the Monarch structure deck, because first off, this is going to be a competitive deck and it will be relatively budget friendly. Now, there's a few cards that we don't have in the TCG that are kind of required to make the deck very strong, specifically Elder God NTSS. That really helps out in this deck, because, you know, obviously popping things is really good with the effect of the Monarch that can destroy from the extra deck. So anyways, Urbis is really good. There's also Aether. That's also a very strong card. And basically in most builds, especially in the OCG, there was actually one that topped last week. Well, actually, technically this week. But anyways, Urbis is also, like, it's just like I said, both of these cards are just, they're 2 boss monsters in the deck, and they're very strong. And then you have like the small monsters, so you have Eidos and you have Idea. Those are also very strong cards in the game. But I don't really feel like, again, you can run these in like any other deck. You also have like the Draw Power card. There's also like Ryza, and there's also a copy of Caius, so I think that that is kind of nice that we have those 2 reprints. Again, they're just too small in mentioning really in the first place anyways. Then there's the Vassals. No one really plays the Vassals anyways, but I figured, you know, some people that might not be able to get their hands on some of the other cards, maybe these can be an option for you, but for the most part, I think that they are not very good, and no one plays them anyways if you want to be competitive. They're just way too minus. There's also Tragodia as another reprint. I thought that card was kind of cool if you wanted to try to maybe build 3 structure decks, and maybe you have some, like, you know, rank 10s that you have that you never really use. Tragodia is an excellent card. It is a really cool card, but against the meta today, it's just like, oh, you know, XYZs don't have level, man. There's also, there's a lot of different ways to play Monarchs. The most successful one in the OCG, like I said, there was this really recent. I'll get you guys a deck profile on this one real soon. But there was one that was using artifacts. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys understand, like, artifacts can be splashed into anything, even though they've been hit pretty hard with, you know, Mortal Attack to 1. If that card goes up to just 2, that's a huge boost. But yeah, like I said, there's Caius, Ryza. There's like the 2 main Monarchs that people used to use. And then there's, this card used to be called the original Monarch. Like if you play some of the online games, they call it the original Monarch. This is just the one that where you get to banish the Monarch spell trap, and then you get to special summon it. So it's pretty nice. It lets you kind of survive, because a lot of times Monarchs will lose to the Solemn Strike or Solemn Notice very hard. But they have a lot of great, like, searchable cards. Monarch Stormforth is still a relatively good card. There's also Return of the Monarchs, which is, some people do play 1 copy of. It's pretty good just because it lets you recycle your stuff. And there's also Escalation, which it can help when you try to go for a summon, your opponent negates it, and then you just, you know, can special summon. Well, you get to tribute summon a monster. Well, obviously you'd special summon. More than likely, it's going to be like the original Monarch, or the Prime Monarch as it's called now, and then you can go ahead and tribute that later on during your opponent's turn, which can be still pretty nice. And then if you guys want to check out the full spoiler list, like I said, there's other cards that are okay here, like Battle Fader, Level Eater. Those are just great cards, but again, they're not going to be really worth that much money, and I don't think most of the players that are interested in playing competitive will run them in the first place. But anyways, if you felt like I missed out on any good cards to mention, let me know in the comment section below. But for the most part, I think this is an excellent structure deck if you're interested and actually playing Monarchs, because they have a lot of dirty tricks up their sleeve, especially when you use the NTSS combo. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I will link a video down below in the description box, and you guys can watch how the deck can play at its, I'd say, like max potential, because there's no other confirmed support for Monarchs, but they can play a few different ways. They can try to in a sense, lock out your opponent out of playing. You can try to push for a lot of damage through a different play, but again, I'll link the video down below in the description box, and you guys can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. But overall, I think this is going to be an excellent budget-friendly structure deck. And if you want to buy this to make a profit out of, like you want to sell the cards individually, it can be done. You could probably break even and then a little bit more, but I think for the most part this is not going to be one of those structure decks where you can sell for like essentially like $15 to $20 consistently, because pretty much the people that want to buy the Monarch stuff are just going to buy the structure deck anyways. But I know in different regions they don't sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so yeah, you have your advantage there. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the Monarch structure deck itself, and I'll be doing unboxing of it relatively soon. This deck is pretty powerful though, it really is. But is it on the same level as Perform Mage, Perform Pal? No. Unfortunately, at the moment, right now, there's really nothing that can compete with it on a consistent basis. Yes, this deck can beat it, but can it beat it consistently? And the answer is not really. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. It's been your boy Will Smith, signing out.